Oh, hello everyone. Wolvis 3000 here. Now, today we are here to talk about Britney Griner. So we're going to get straight to it. Now, we all know who Britney Griner is. She has been detained and sentenced to 9 years in Russia, in a country that's beefing with the U.S. heavy. You see, Russia is at war with Ukraine, of course, but the U.S. is at war with Russia too. We're just not in the war physically. We are basically helping Ukraine by funding them to fight Russia. So basically, we're giving them the cheddar cheese to fight Russia. Anyways, we all know that Britney was caught with them vapes and cannabis oil in her luggage. Now, she pled guilty because she knew she did it. She has a marijuana card, but the amount she had was illegal. She messed up. She got convicted for drug smuggling. Britney tried to appeal her case, and guess what, ladies and gents? They turned it down. They're making sure she do all her time. No mercy, no plea bargains. Welcome to Russia. Now, I do politics somewhat, but I do think politics has a slight play in all of this. You see, Russia and the U.S. are talking about a possible prisoner swap. But a lot of American people feel there should be no prisoner swap. So my question is, should there be a prisoner swap for Britney Griner? What makes her special for this condition is what everyone wants to know. Is one of the reasons this?
Griner going in for the throwdown. Houston rumbling through, finds Griner for the dunk, and that's what the sellout crowd was waiting for. So now finding Griner, slam dunk. Griner comes up with a steal and maybe a little showtime. Britney Griner, the two-handed finish over to Griner, who dunks it in.
You see, I looked at a lot of the comments on numerous news articles, and they are dragging the hell out of Britney, man. Tons of people do not feel sorry for her. They have the you do the crime, you do the time mentality. You see, Britney is extremely worried because she will more than likely enter a system of isolation, hard labor, possible psychological torment, and more. You see, let's keep it real, folks. She might have to rumble a couple Russians in that joint, man. She might have to put the pause on a female version of Ivan Drago.
Chopping the Russian down.
You see, Britney may go through hell. And don't forget, she is gay. And for what I've researched, Russia has homophobic tendencies. You see, Russia is not a fan of the West. They're not with the woke shit. They can care less about Black Lives Matter, which of course is a fraud organization. That's right, I said it. I think Black Lives Matter is a fraud. It should be called My Real Estate Matters. And this is why.
Who calls herself a trained Marxist is now being called a fraud after property records showed Patrice Cullors shelled out millions of dollars on 4 luxury homes. One of them in Los Angeles' exclusive 88% white Topanga Canyon. This, as the Associated Press reports, Black Lives Matter took in some $90 million in donations last year. Now remember, this is the organization. The movement with people in the streets, they're not getting rained down on by cash. Now other people in the organization want an investigation into the group's finances.
They should be ashamed of themselves. Anyways, you see, in them Russian prisons, they be working sometimes 17 hours a day in a sewing shop, in freezing conditions, lack of hygiene. I mean, the list goes on, ladies and gentlemen. The list goes on. Now, here's Joe Biden meeting with Britney's wife. You see, Joe knows not to let a bad situation go to waste. You got to take advantage of it and use it. Now, And that goes especially for Al Sharpton. You know, he got to get a piece. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Al Sharpton got his crew marched to the White House and sang, "Wade in the water, wade in the water, children." You see, I don't dislike Al Sharpton, nor do I like him. But to me, he do too much marching and singing. You see, I like Malcolm X. He did it best. But hey, I guess Al Sharpton does try, I guess. I think he does it for the money. But anyway, you see, the American people think a prisoner swap isn't fair because there are other Americans who are imprisoned in Russia for almost the same thing. For this man, for example, his name is Mark Fogel. He's an American teacher. He was sentenced to 14 years in Russia for taking marijuana with him as well. And his situation was similar to Britney's, except they designated Britney Griner as being wrongfully detained. Americans, politicians, designated Britney as being wrongfully detained. But not for Mark Fogel. I think his name's Marco Fogel. I think I got his name wrong. It's Mark Fogel or Marco Fogel. One of them two. But anyways, my opinion, I don't agree with the prisoner swap unless they're going to swap out more Americans with the same charge or similar. I think that's fair. But, you know, other people think differently, which is totally cool with me. But, or better yet, any other Americans who have been wrongfully detained, you know, they should be prisoner swapped too. But being a celebrity has its perks. You know what I mean? Because Britney can do some things. Britney can do this.
Griner! Britney Griner slows it down. With the championship number one. This is something that no other.
Just saying. Does that really matter? But anyway, I don't think Britney's coming home. The prisoner swap can be lopsided, even dangerous, man. We will be swapping out teachers and basketball players for terrorists and merchants of death or whatever. I think that's an uneven swap, but that's my opinion. You know, what do you think? You know? Hello, everyone. Morpheus 3000. Please welcome my special guests, Donna Carrington and my brother, Brian Avon. He's literally my brother, ladies and gents. Literally. Give me a round of applause, everybody. All right. That's enough. Now.
Yeah. I see you, Donna.
Everyone, you all know the subject at hand. Britney Griner's appeal did not go through. They're not letting that shit ride. They want her to do all her time.
Every day.
Now, I brought on my special guests to hear their opinion. We need the people to speak. And we're going to begin with Miss Donna, last name Carrington. Miss Sweet Donna Carrington. Now, Miss Donna, do you think Britney Griner deserves the prisoner swap? Question number one. Do you think she deserves it?
Yes.
Okay. But so you think it's a good idea for her to be swapped for merchants of death and terrorists?
I mean, it's going on anyway.
I know that.
Whether she's swapped out or not. Is it gonna stop if she in there?
Right.
It's not. Right. So it's been going on before she got there. It's gonna go on while she's there. And if she get out, it's still gonna go on.
Truth. I dig it. You see, it's a shame she got caught because we beefing with Russia. Biden be calling shots on Putin. We don't like Russia. And here's a pure example.
And the Republic standing together against a murderous dictator, a pure thug who is waging an immoral war against the people of Ukraine.
Incompetent. He's just not there.
So, Donna, do you think Britney will ever come home?
I'm praying that she do. I do. I pray for it. I mean, considering that the Russian law even was that if you had at least 6 grams or less, that you would only spend 15 days in jail. I'm trying to understand how she had less than a gram and warranted 9.5 years when their law clearly says 6 grams or less, 15 days. She way past her 15 days. Like, it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what's the real narrative here? She's black, she's rich, she's outwardly gay, she's a woman. Like, let's make it make sense. She's been over there getting crazy money for the past 8 months?
True.
She was in China, before that, making
Years.
money.
She's been over for years.
Plenty money, like never got no trouble, never been in, nothing like that. I mean, and considering that marijuana is dang near legal in the US, it ain't like she had pounds. She had a vape cartridge. Like, let's be honest here. 9.5 years for a vape cartridge. I'm sure there's people in Russia who's done far worse things.
True.
She's got way less time.
So you think her incarceration is somewhat political?
I think everything's political. The world's political.
Right.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, do I feel like they got the power to make some negotiations and like really, make some things happen? I mean, yeah, but I feel like, is it really being pushed? Maybe not. Like, what is the U.S. really doing about it?
Right.
She literally just lost an appeal. Like, so she got to do another one. Like, seriously, like, who was fighting for her on our side? True. Like, we go to war for these other countries and we support and we do all of these. But when it comes down to, the people from our soil, like, where was her supporting that? Somebody should be fighting for her about their laws, like, that they're not upholding. Like, let's make it make sense. Less than a gram. She didn't even have a gram of oil.
So,
yeah,
dude, do you think Britney deserves the prisoner swap? Be honest.
No, she doesn't. I don't think her situation deserves to be put up on the level with all the intelligence, what they had to do to get that dude in jail. She got caught. They had to get this dude. They had to get him. I don't think that's a fair swap. I think the problem with Britney, for the most part, is she got caught up. And I mean, no matter what anybody says, and I've said this since the day she was caught back in February, and they was putting it all over the news. I said it then, and I'll say it now. If Trump was in office, this wouldn't have happened. And it wouldn't have happened because of this. It wasn't that Trump is smarter than Biden, which he is, but the reality is this. It was about when you're the president, and if you served in the military, you fought in combat, I've traveled all over the world, you represent the United States. He wouldn't allow, when A$AP Rocky was over in Sweden getting ready to get done in, he didn't allow that to happen, not because he liked A$AP Rocky, but this is not going to happen this is not going to happen on my watch.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where's our people for her? Where we at? She can't. Here's my situation, my feelings about the whole Griner situation from years ago, because I didn't know who she was. Like, years ago, I didn't know who she was. I remember I seen this commercial or some on ESPN, and it was like saying she was going to play LeBron. I was like, I think she played in college. I was like, is she in the pros now? I was like, okay, that's cool. And you can kind of see, like, by her persona, she's kind of like a quiet person. Well, back then she was. She's like a quiet person. She's like, okay, I got a mic in front of me. And I'm always afraid
or hesitant, I should say, when people stick a mic in front of your face and you're not ready for it, right? And you can kind of, I could see that back then. I was like, okay, well, she's a basketball player. She's in the WNBA. Let her get her groove on. She got a right to make she can ball. She got a right to make money like everybody else. Okay, that aside. Then, and this is what's hurting her now. I think when you get like of age, like when you're younger, right, and you take all these chances, you're like reckless, right? And the chances you take, you don't really think about the consequences. You just take them because this is what you basically playing checkers,
right?
But as you get older, your life, the game changes, and you learn how to play chess, to take calculated risk. I'm not going to risk everything, but I want to get something. I want to take a chance. I want to risk my luck, whatever. But you're not going to risk everything, as you get older. I think with Britney, and it's unfortunate because it's playing out right now in front of everybody, I think she allowed herself to be used as a pawn. And that became her persona. Now, within the 48, the continental United States, that persona is not a problem. Much as she kept saying it was, compared to where she's at now, that was her persona. And it was that persona, anti-American, LGBTQ, because of where she's at. Not because that's what I think, because of where she's at.
Yeah.
And she played in that country for years. She played in that season, that team she played a couple seasons over there. She knew the rules. Outside of the political considerations, when you travel overseas, I'm traveling with my daughter. I'm not traveling with no weed. I'm not traveling with something that's going to get me. That's not going to happen outside of this country. If I'm going to Maryland,
I agree.
Whatever.
Look, I agree, especially getting on planes and doing all of those things. I don't know exactly where the cartridges is, but I do know they're very small. I don't know how it was packaged or.
I mean, if you see the video, they pulling them open, and she's standing right there. She's standing right there while they're opening them up. So they were
just like I didn't see the video, so I am a little ignorant to
Yeah, she got the Black Lives Matter coat on, and she's at the conveyor thing, and I think the dog is the one that hit it up. I think that's why they took it back, because the dog
does it appear as if she could have put them there? Like, were they visible? I guess in the suitcase.
Yeah. That's when they pulled. That's why they pulled the bag open, because they were visible. The dog smelled them, and they pulled the bag open, and they see them right there. I mean, here's my point. Here's my point. If you smoke, not travel. If you smoke, I'm gonna smoke where I'm at. I'm not bringing it with me. And we all know that. We all, everybody here, everybody who's ever done anything knows that. You're not taking it with you. I'm not going to the airport. Are you insane?
No,
that's not happening.
You know what's so funny?
I'll be blunting out my brain.
Out of the country. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know the circumstances around how it was found, where it was found. Like, did she accidentally have a pen and she left it in her pocket?
No, she had boxes. These is canisters. She had bugs. That's what the dog smelled. If it was something, I don't even think the dog would have got it. But this is canisters, and this is oil.
Well, but it wasn't. Well, if it was less than a gram, though, it was like they must have been empty.
I don't think it was less than a gram. These are canisters. It had to be more than a gram.
Well,
she had several canisters.
It said less than a gram.
I think that's the law, but I think she had more than that, and I think that's why they caught her.
I don't know. I got to fact check.
Hey. She rolled up in the airport.
Like one canister, I don't think they would have stopped her.
That's not enough to me.
If you got like 4 canisters in front of me, I don't care how much it adds up to. It's 4 canisters. And if the dog hadn't popped it, nobody would have said anything. She would have walked on through. If anybody's to blame, I guess it's the dog.
Hey, bro! She walked in that airport. She walked in that airport with that Black Lives Matter shirt. You know they ain't with that woke stuff, man. You know what?
Too. Was she high? When I said that, they're like, "Oh man, that's ignorant." I'm like,
she said she was packing fast. Like,
I'm saying, was she high?
She wasn't even like.
And here's my point: if you think about when she was trying to get out the airport,
like she may have had a pen because she said I was packing in a hurry. Like she didn't realize it was in her bag. So I'm thinking like maybe you had a pen.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I mean, here's my point: when she's trying to get out the airport, you got to remember in context with everything else that's going on. Russia is attacking Ukraine. That's why she's running to the airport. She ain't just taking it, she ain't leaving like she normally do the seasons in. They telling Americans and once again, because you got a weak president, she couldn't go to the Department of State because the Department of State said, get your ass to the airport and get out the country. We can't help you. That's why she's running to the airport. My point is, if it was a different time, a different situation back here, as far as who the president was, she'd be out already. And the fact that when she's over, here's what didn't help her. And it's sad because I don't think people realize, as much as we was talking, as much as the media was talking and blowing all this up about she's unfairly held, she's over there unfairly held, what you're saying, and they're listening to everything you say. So if you want to say she's unfairly held, well, that's what the sentence is going to be.
Hey,
because they're not going to apply to our pressure. They're not going to buck to our pressure. And the pressure
they already denied the appeal. So, like, we think she's going to appeal again, and it's going to go again? Like, there got to be some real American negotiation.
And
now
we're letting her go.
That's happening.
No, she's all the groups that she was. This is what I'm saying. She's a pawn on the chessboard because all the groups she was marching for, like you said, Marlon, she had that Black Lives Matter coat on. All of this, where they at? And if she's a pawn on the chessboard, that's what I'm saying. 4 or 5 years from now, she's going to be forgotten.
Hey,
bro, the same group she was doing all this for, and that's unfortunate.
Bro, check this out. They're gonna make her pay for wearing those Black Lives Matter sweaters and all that. You know what's gonna happen, bro? When she getting them penal colonies, they're gonna approach her and they're gonna say this.
I must break you.
That's what they're gonna do, man.
Get off Britney's back, man. Get off Britney's back.
You know what?
No, for real. No.
That's still not cool.
No, for real.
At the end of the day, she's a whole woman, and I feel so.
When Britney get over there, she gonna have to use some of this, man. Look, when she get over there,
I don't.
Listen, she gonna have to use some of this.
She wants to go toe to toe with Tappy Pop next year.
Well, now BG's got to back off. BG's and stuff. So that now she's got to.
She gonna have to push him up over, man.
Those days is over. Those days is over.
I can't say that. I'm gonna pray for her and pray for better circumstances. And I'm gonna pray that the situation turn itself around, because I know that God can do all things.
Hey, the only thing
the reality is we don't have a State Department. That's just what we got, a bunch of amateurs, and that's how it was going to be from the beginning. When Blinken got on TV and he was doing his little nervous, erratic, anxiety-riddled thing he does on the front of the cameras, I just felt bad for Griner at that time. I was like, because there's nobody in that administration. There's not one person in that administration that's going to push Griner's name. It's going to push it and push it and push it.
And then Biden's only talking about he's going to meet with the people, but only if that's the topic of discussion.
No, that's not going to happen.
Where was you at with this appeal? Like, where was the president?
That's not going to happen. She don't matter. She's forgotten fruit at this point. She's fruit you put by the door. I take out for the garbage.
It's like Sunday. Convicted, done. We're over it.
Yeah, it's done, and it's sad because I think if they had like a skilled negotiator, a skilled not these clowns they got in this, and I keep saying this. They were like, no, it's every administration. No, he got a bunch of amateurs he hired for diversity. This is why they can't get anything done on that. They can't get anything done on the economy because they're a bunch of clowns. And nobody wants to say anything. Oh, you're not allowed to say that. Or you're allowed to say what's going on with the results.
Well, I feel like there is a lot of broken promises every administration. Like they all got.
Yeah, but this one, like I said with your boy, how many rappers did Trump get go? How many? That he did. I know he wasn't listening to him. Wasn't nobody in his administration like, yo, man, your boy's locked up. It was the whole point about you gonna respect my presidency. Biden's not respected, and the fact that she was dependent on him writing them letters, I voted for you. That was just sad because it don't matter to him. It don't matter to the administration. And I think the wife, she was on TV a little while ago, a couple days ago, at some award ceremony. Like, I felt bad for her because that's all she's gonna be the poster child for that right now.
Yeah.
They're gonna keep popping her up, talking about Britney, but ain't nobody gonna do anything.
That's
and the more, Yeah, and that's sad. You know, if you're gonna do something, I'd rather you do something behind the scenes than keep throwing me up on stage, put me
I
in
mean,
front of
but
the cameras. You're not doing anything.
on the, like the flip side, double advocate side, we don't know, why, the reason behind the why. You know what I mean? 9.5 years, yes, a long time, but that time goes fast. You know what I mean? It's not like it's a life sentence where you can't, get
Well,
out of
she's
there.
getting. I heard today she was getting. Was it yesterday? She's getting sent to that prison camp. I mean, all things aside, we talking, joking, laughing, discussing her life. I hope she makes it through that. It's
I
a
hope she
prison
makes
camp.
it through too.
It's a
Yeah,
camp.
because
It's meant to break her.
because her wife's saying that she's mentally like breaking down.
Yeah, their prison system is different. You ain't sitting in prison, with the gangs, and you working your sentence out. That's why they're sending you to the camp, and it's like damn near Siberia.
Wow.
Hey,
So,
she don't want to play basketball over there, man. Like she should just play basketball.
That's done.
I mean,
that's done. If they was to let her out today, she'd be
my
done.
heart just bleeds for her.
So there ain't gonna be no more of that. No more of that, huh?
Huh?
No, like
literally,
my heart literally bleeds for her, for her family, like about some weed.
Yeah. At this wartime, they're not focused on, prisoner swaps. They focused on Ukraine.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? That's just the truth. She's not a priority. I wish she was. I wish they could have got her. I wish they could have got her out as soon as it happened, because before all this war shit started, and we could have got back whatever. But
I just feel like wow.
I mean, if you got a heart, you're gonna feel like, like damn, man.
So heavy, just so many aspects, so many levels.
You see how and like I said, what percentage of her life is she gonna miss during this time?
And like you said, like I hope she makes it. Like just
seriously, those camps is not a joke. They're not. Everybody's like, oh well, they sent her because they send everybody there. That's just the whole point. That's the whole point of you breaking the law.
System.
Yeah, if you break the law over that way, that's how they treat you.
You might go through some Midnight Express, man.
When she first got caught, that's that's one of my favorite movies. When she first got caught, that's all I was thinking was Brad Davis in Midnight Express. When he was at the airport and he had those, bricks of hashish taped to him, and he thought he was getting away. You know what I mean? And he tapped him on the shoulder like, yo, my man, you got to take your coat off. You got to get checked like everybody else. And that's what began his nightmare. And I mean, it's funny you said it. I just bought that book on Audible. I just listened to it last month, as many times as I've seen the movie. And he narrates the book, Brad Davis. I think he's dead now. But, the book obviously is a lot better than the movie. What he went through, and the dude that, what's his name? Randy Quaid, he was in that movie. His character that he writes about in the book, man, they beat him mercilessly. I mean, they must have broke his feet, his ankles like 4 or 5 times, man. Every time they healed up, they put him back on the bench.
Whoa.
And that's their prisons. You know what I mean? And I would never want to go through that. As much as I travel, Marlon, I would never want to be in a foreign prison.
Hell no.
I would never want. I would never want to deal with foreign law enforcement. You know what I mean?
So militant.
It's different.
Yeah, very militant and capital.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. Yeah,
times 10.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I was. When she was over there making money, doing her thing, and I was happy because. They're like, oh, well, she should make more money over here. Well, I don't know how that works if nobody has interest in the WNBA. You got to do what you got to do. And she did what she had to do. That doesn't even
matter now. That don't even matter. The money don't matter.
Basketball's done. Yeah, all that's done. I just hope she makes it out of there. You know what I mean? With her spirit intact.
I pray that it's turned around somehow, that just for her family. I can't imagine her mother. I just can't imagine her mother.
I hope she doesn't have any medical concerns. You know what I mean? Because of her height, how tall she is. You know how tall people, especially tall women, if for some reason they have like the whole bone thing.
When I think of the personal hygiene, like just as a woman.
She's on I think, what was the one letter she wrote, that the bed is too short, like maybe like 1.5 feet too short? Because she's like 6'9". You know what I mean? So the bed, I think, is probably like
I mean, just
6
the
feet or
shower,
something.
just when you come on your period every month,
Mhm.
and do you
Yeah,
have
they
the
don't care about
proper?
that.
Do you have the proper things that you need? Can you
Yeah.
shower when you want to? Like, how do you
Yeah.
handle
And they gonna
And
do
How
her
it
in
goes, like,
because she's not very feminine. Like I seen an interview with her. Her voice kind of
She's
deep.
still a
Like,
woman. She still
yeah,
go through these
yeah,
things.
she's still going through her thing,
It's
whether
still
she,
gonna happen. She's a woman.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just saying.
And that was happening amongst a bunch of
I
strangers
just
we
think they
don't
gonna
even
do it
know.
more. He's like, hey,
You know? Yeah,
They
no,
gonna do
that don't gonna matter over there. You know, she's serving a
But
prison
how do
sentence
you
like
handle that?
everybody
So you
else.
just gonna I can't even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do? And
Mm-hmm.
that's like how, Lord, I just.
Well, they'll keep bringing her up in the
Imagine.
media. They'll keep
Yeah.
bringing her up and bringing her
And
up.
I
And
keep
it's always
saying
gonna be a
that's
sad,
making it worse
sad
because
song.
that's making it worse. Every time they bring it up in the media, and once again they make her the poster child for being wrongly arrested. All that's doing is pissing them off. And I keep
Yeah.
saying that, and I keep saying that. If you don't have any positive coverage about her, don't show it over there because she's getting ready to go to a prison colony. They probably don't even know who she is. She's another prisoner. She's a tall black prisoner. But if you keep doing this and doing this and doing this, well, just like in jails over here, somebody want to make a name.
Yeah.
Right? I know who you is. I know what you did. I'm gonna make a name off of, I'm like, stop doing that. You can't help her. And at this point, you're just making once again, she's a political football.
Yep.
She's a pawn on a chessboard. She's getting beat around. She's not even here.
Damn.
And she'll continue to keep, and that's what I kept saying all summer long. Like, they're just gonna keep talking about the girl, and they're not gonna send a delegation. They're not gonna do nothing. They're not gonna make no one-on-one calls with the State Department. Nothing. They just kept talking about it, and every time they kept talking about it, it was getting more and more negative. And I'm like, you do understand we're not the only people watching this.
Right.
It's a shame because
that's gonna be prosecuting her. They watching this also. They watching this footage also. Oh, so you're saying she was unlawfully, and that's why I think she got the 9.5 years. I said that when they kept saying that. They kept getting on TV. All these celebrities, she's unlawfully, let her free, Britney. This isn't Twitter. This is this girl's life. And y'all can fly the flag. Public opinion doesn't matter over that way. When you break the law, you break the law. The amount really does. That's what I kept saying. The amount doesn't matter. Anybody that travels and she plays, over there for years. Everybody knows the rules. Your coaches tell it to you. Everybody tells it.
I mean, and that's the one piece that I really can't defend because anybody, especially leaving the country and you're going through customs.
Come on, man.
Not to have nothing.
Come on, man. You can smoke a tree.
You throw that shit away. You
can literally smoke a tree. You just can't bring it with you. You get by. Take care.
Now that part, it make it hard.
And that's what I kept saying. Was she high? Because
that's the only piece.
But you got to be out of your mind high. You know
Listen,
what I mean? Like,
I think she wanted to get out of there.
Just sitting there, stuck. You packed it, you threw your shit in there,
No, I'm gonna tell you what happened. She knew she had to get out of there. The war breaking off. She said she had all this stash of that whatever the hell, cannabis oil, whatever. She had her last bit of stash.
Look
she
at
said, I'm taking this shit with me, man. I ain't leaving this.
She's like, you know what? I might not be coming back. This is a war.
I'm taking all my stash.
You was supposed to leave that and you get you some when you get home.
That's what I would say, Dottie. That's what me and you would say. But like I said, maybe she was high.
Like you said, you've been over there. You know the rules. You know what's going on.
You don't play.
Why risk it?
Why you don't play that rule.
I'm confused. She's like, I was rushing. I was packing. You rushing packing? You ain't supposed to pack that.
Listen, when we was in Saudi Arabia, there's no alcohol. You're not gonna be running around that piece looking for a bar because there ain't none.
Look,
you let that go. If it's not permitted, you let it go. Till you leave.
Be careful when you travel to other countries, and you gotta know their rules, their regulations, what you can and cannot do as an American citizen. They don't play. They don't care about you. I was just thinking about going up to Dubai. They said you can't cuss in public. I said I'm done. I'm going to jail. Never mind.
I've been to Dubai. Don't play.
Yeah, they don't play those games.
I'm like,
okay.
I've been out Dubai walking around.
Yeah, please. I've been out there with it's a different culture, and this is once again this is like a like a war of the cultures, because what we permit and we see as normal, the rest of the world sees as degenerate. So that's why your society's falling apart. And they're gonna stop that. And if
you
if they
ain't
can make
coming
an
over
American
here
example of that,
acting like American. That's what you not gonna do.
You're not gonna bring that garbage over
and
here.
You gotta
You're not gonna bring that,
or they gonna detain you.
You're gonna bring the West with you.
No, you're not, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing about the other countries. They don't want the West culture over there. You can bring your business and your money and your investments, but keep your culture. We don't want that because we don't see how it's benefiting you whatsoever. Yeah, whatsoever. So keep that.
I mean, if
y'all enjoy it, makes you feel good.
That was a hefty price to pay about a mishap, about a forget, about a not.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm like, no, I don't think she forgot it at all. I think she thought she wasn't going to get checked because of who she is. That's what I think. I think even you can kind of see her stop, like, yo, what the fuck is y'all doing? When that dog starts yipping and yapping, and that dude comes over and they start opening that bag, the expectation was, I'm gonna slide through here. And she's done it, and here's my whole point: if you've done it before, you have more confidence in doing it again. That's how it works. That wasn't her first time, and just looking at her non-verbal reactions when they're opening the bag, she does not expect them to be opening that bag.
I didn't see the video.
She does not expect them to be opening that bag. That's a total shock to her, that the way they're going through her bag like that. And the way they're going through her bag like that isn't a normal search. And if you look at the camera, you understand it's because the dog is the one that popped the bag. This isn't we're just going to choose this particular bag. That's not what this is. The dog popped off. That's what the dog is there for. Weapons and drugs. So they got to check the bag. They got to tear that bag up because that dog is barking. And she did not expect that. And that's the part that I said, when you're looking at it, she's done this before. At least to me, it appears she's done this before. That's why she's so shocked when they're going through her bag like this. You know, and my whole point is, if you're doing this on a regular basis, leave it there. Don, I agree. Leave it there. You can get it over here as much as you can get it over there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know,
it wasn't worth the risk. That's the case.
But this is the thing, Brian. She said, I did it before, and I'm Britney Griner, and I can do this.
Right. Black Lives Matter coat on. I'm like, you are a walking question mark in the airport. Everybody's looking at you. And that's why I was like, is she high? Please.
True.
You know?
And even if she was high, she wasn't supposed to have no weed on her.
You get your last blast on and get to moving. I'm going to get on this plane and sleep all right. But
this is my question.
That's why I said all evidence to me points, nobody's going to say it because, you know, you're looking at the video.
Well, that's a whole different perspective, you know, considering that it was definitely irresponsible, and it does pose a question of, did you do this before?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Y'all answer the main question. Where'd she get that? Where'd she get it from? Did she get it over there, or did she bring it through there? That's the question I had. Where did she originally get it? Did she take it over there with her, or did she get it up? You be talking to people who travel, rappers, musicians, because you see it on YouTube. They're like, yeah, man, we can get drugs, we can get it. So I'm pretty sure if it was possible to get over there, she probably got it over there. You know, she's been playing over it for a couple years.
That's another thing. Like how easy is it to get there if it's such a big taboo?
I don't know. I just don't.
It's probably a big thing over there. I don't think they got dispensaries. I doubt they got.
You just can't go to the airport with it.
I mean, I don't know. Is there just dispensaries?
But I don't think it's that easy to get it. I don't think it's that easy to get over there. I don't because of the sentence. I don't think it's that.
I feel like either somebody sent that to you, brought that to you, or how you get that. Or did you do that before, like you said?
Of course she did.
Yeah, I think she's been playing over there for years. This wasn't her first time. We know this already. So, I mean, I just feel bad for her because she got caught this time when a war is raging out and there's nobody in the State Department to negotiate.
So do you think if a war wasn't happening, like that the results would have been different?
Yeah, she wouldn't have been at the airport. There was no reason for her to rush home. If Russia is not attacking Ukraine, she's still over there playing.
Okay.
That was the reason that they was getting Americans out the country early February was you got to get out by, I forgot what the date was. That's why she's running to the airport. And my point is, if the State Department's telling me to leave, that's the last thing I'm concerned about. And if it's in my bag, I'm getting it out my bag because ain't nothing preventing me from getting out this country.
But you got to get high.
I
got to hit it.
When she get home, she probably could have got more and better when she got to the U.S. Like,
she was wasting that good vape. She probably had purple, grape, orange flavored vapes.
Look, cuz they was dropping shit out the sky. Nah, I got to go. I ain't no get high that deep. I got to go. And anything that, like I said, anything that's going to stop me.
You're detained.
Put it this way. What if it was a natural disaster instead of a war? What if it's a hurricane and it was coming and you had 4 hours to get to the airport, get on the plane, taxi off the runway so the hurricane wouldn't hit you? That's the last thing you're thinking about taking. You're trying to get your ass out of there. You're taking what's necessary and you're leaving.
I fuck around, don't take my bag.
She had a marijuana card.
All day.
She had a marijuana card.
My blind ass to get my glasses.
My bag ain't even going. I just got to go.
You don't need
to.
Everybody else at the airport is urgently trying to get out of the country. If you look at the traffic in the airport, you're looking at the CCTV. Everybody's trying to get out the country. This is my hope. This is a busy airport at this time because Americans are trying to run to this airport, get on these planes, get out of here, and she gets stopped. You know, what's the chance? And that's unfortunate, but like I said, you know, she rolled the dice and she lost.
Damn.
You know, this time and like I said, she rolled the dice previously. I'm pretty sure it is. That's what my gut tells me. And she rolled it this time and she just lost, which is unfortunate. And I hate the fact that she's losing these years in her life.
Now because you put it out there that it was, you know, I'm gonna have
this is a valuable lesson to everyone, man. This is a
yeah. If you watch the video, you got to come up with your own conclusions outside of the political crap. Just look at what's going on in the video. Everybody knows when somebody's going through your shit, what that feels like.
Yeah.
No, and you know what it feels like,
especially what it feels like when you know you got something.
Yeah, exactly. Bag. Everybody, you know, put all that other bullshit. Just put yourself in her place at that moment and that time.
Her heart everything was that's going on, and she knew she wasn't leaving.
Damn.
And you got to factor in the fact. You got to add in the fact. She's getting caught at the worst time. I mean, everything is going on right now. Nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow. They don't know if plane's going to be leaving the airport tomorrow. So now you're stuck on a humbug, which is be a humbug here. You know, be a minor inconvenience.
Was it just cockiness? Was it like, oh, I did this before, I could do it again, and
that's what I keep saying.
Was it that? I mean,
that's what I keep saying.
That's the case. This is a hell of a humble.
Yeah, that's a hell of a lesson to learn at a time, really. You know what I mean?
She had a promising future, man.
Yeah, man. I think, you know, I just wish she just would have stuck to playing basketball. And I think this would have turned out a little bit differently for her if she was just known as a basketball player. When athletes start going political, there's consequences to that. There's consequences to the money. There's consequences to what you can say, what you can't say, as opposed to I'm just gonna play ball. If she was a minor basketball player on that team that she played over there in Russia, they didn't know who she was. She wasn't popping off with the Black Lives Matter, the LGBT, I hate America. She would have breezed to the airport.
So, you know, everybody had to, you know, play devil's advocate and throw LeBron in it. If do you think if it was a man or LeBron that the situation would have been different?
Damn. It was LeBron?
Here's my point with that. I don't think once again, I go back to the initial thought of bringing it in the first place. I don't think he's that dumb. If you skip that,
okay, well, just suppose. Let's just hypothetical here. I'm playing devil's advocate. Let's hypothetical here. Suppose he was vaping and he kind of forgot it. It was in a pants pocket of his. Do you? it wasn't out in the open. It was, and it
You know what? You know what? You know what?
Do you think it would have been?
I'll say this, being completely honest, he'd be out. You know why he'd be out?
Damn, that's deep.
He's not affiliated with anything except the NBA. That's all he's kind of known for. Outside of him being the best basketball player in the world, the last couple of years he's been yipping and yapping on Twitter and that sort of thing, and the Black Lives Matter thing. But he's more of a vocal supporter or a post-vocal supporter. Something happens, then he says something.
So
and they might actually like LeBron. They'll be like, we're gonna let you ride out there, player.
I don't think no.
So y'all want so he'd be out.
Yeah, I think she had the strikes against her with the gay and the Black Lives Matter thing. I think there was 2 strikes against her.
But that's wrong on so many levels.
In that country, they don't give a shit about none of that. They don't care about none of this. That has nothing to do with their culture. We care about it. We feel a certain way about it, but they don't. That's what we keep forgetting. Our culture is a war culture.
But even in a whole nother country with a whole nother culture, there's a double standard there where like the man they probably would have negotiated his release.
No, if he wasn't a global superstar, his ass would be locked up too. If LeBron wasn't a global superstar, I mean, I'm talking about Britney Griner being one of the tallest players in the WNBA, one of the best known players in the WNBA, versus LeBron being, the best, player, and he's over there in that situation. Yeah, I do think in that situation they're gonna let him go. But once again, I keep trying to tell you, culturally, she already got 2 strikes against her that we don't want to acknowledge. Well, everybody got a right to. That's
I get that. So those would have been strikes he may not have had.
Right, which we don't want to acknowledge because we're not allowed. But in the other countries, it doesn't work that way.
That's reality. We can't ignore the elephant in the room.
It's like this. Here's my point. The 2 strikes against her, right, that I just spoke against, if I'm in that culture, you got 2 strikes against you in our culture, and you get caught with this shit in our country. Seriously. That's what she's up against. And that's why I felt bad about it, because this wasn't a black thing. This is a cultural thing, and they don't want that over. She already represents what they don't want in their culture.
Yeah.
And now she gets caught with drugs, and nobody wants to talk about it because we're not allowed to talk about it. But that's not how the other countries see it. And until we actually acknowledge that, we can keep yipping and yapping about it. But it's a situation where you're on this side of the pond. We have different rules. We have different perspectives.
Absolutely.
You go to the other side of the pond.
That, and you have to respect it.
Right. It's like if you go to an Arab country, there's certain highways. If you're not Muslim, you can't drive on those roads. What do you mean? You can't drive on those roads. Everybody got it right. You can't drive on those roads. The simple as this. You're either going to respect their laws or they're going to make you respect them. Period. And that's what this is. She said once they started with the rhetoric of she's getting held again, that's when I knew she was going to get knocked. Because they wasn't trying to negotiate; they was already accusing her.
Right.
Diplomacy is, I see what you're doing, but how can we talk this out? And how can we talk this out?
Can we negotiate a little something here?
Right, and negotiate.
We know it was wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's diplomacy. What they did was you arrested her because, and you're holding her against, and they were like, we haven't even charged her yet. Like, what are you doing? But that's this media that, once again, she became a poster board unwittingly. She didn't ask for it. I'm not saying she asked for it, but in that moment, she became, once again, a poster board because that's how they already seen her. You represent. No, right now, she's going her ass to jail. She doesn't represent anything.
Damn.
And the power of her representing.
Yeah, that's such a hurt. That's just like,
yeah.
So sorry for her.
That's an alone and isolated that is. You got all this fake support. You got all this online support. You got all this YouTube. You got the games and cheering for you. And then bam, as soon as the cuffs go on, well, we're going to move on to the next thing. And that's why when I see her wife, I'm just like, you can see it in her wife's face, like, y'all forgetting about her. Honey, she's already forgotten about her.
Yeah, she's fighting. She be trying to like put it out there in the media, but everybody's like,
yeah. But
listen, a lot of people don't even feel sorry for Britney, man. Like I've been going on the news
forgotten about because it doesn't benefit the people in power politically to get her out. not now, because when it did, they didn't do anything. You know, there was a timing thing on this, and they didn't take advantage of it. That's why she's faded, and that's why I feel bad, because over the next couple years, unless somebody politically in whatever administration says, "Hey, whatever happened to that Britney Griner situation? What are we going to do about that? What do we have that they want, et cetera, et cetera?" Once again, getting back to diplomacy. But if her name's not brought up, she's going to rot in that jail. And if she has to do 9 years, I'll say this: I don't think she's going to make 9 years. Not in a prison camp. I don't think she's going to make it. You know, if she was sitting, I don't know, whatever, in one of these, one of these jails, but like, yeah, she's going to do her 9, she's going to lay it down, she's going to do what she got to do. This is a prison camp in Russia next to Siberia. You're not only dealing with the prison, the rules, you're dealing with the environment. That's why the prison is open up there.
Everything, like the...
Yeah, that's why it's up there.
Alone, like the, the atmosphere, like, the environment, the lack thereof.
Yeah, you're sent to be isolated. And, you know, like I said, I feel bad for her family. I have nothing bad to say about Britney Griner. I just think she aligned herself with these groups, and that became kind of her persona. And you can say she received a sentence, but at the same time, I think you can also say her persona received the sentence, because I think that's what they put out there, and that's who they brought to court. You know, instead of saying, "Hey, she's a this, she's a that, she's a this, she's a family member, she's a loyal this, she's a loyal that," she was the poster child for these, and I'm like, that's not gonna work in those courts. They don't give a shit about Black Lives Matter. They gotta represent. Stop. That's not helping her.
Damn.
Oh yeah, once again, she's a pawn on the chessboard, and everybody's just, you know, she's the first man off the board at this point, because everybody's using her.
Right.
You know, I wish somebody would get something together. You know, once again, the people supporting her are millionaires, this, that. What are they doing?
Yeah.
You know, once again, that fake support, that's, I always say, that vocal support, it only works well in an echo chamber. You know what I mean? Once you out there in the real world, you know, you got to stand on your own.
Right.
And I think she, like, I feel bad that I just feel bad, like she was just lunching at that moment, Dinah. She was on lunch patrol. That's what I feel bad about. Like,
and that's why I feel like I'm so,
because we've all done it.
Empathetic, because I feel like
we've all
it's
been on
a
lunch
bad
patrol.
decision. Like, you know, but at the same time, like, to think of the perspective of, like, you've done this before and you may have gotten away with it before, so you really chanced it, but this wasn't really the time to, like, take that leap of faith. Like, you should have known better in that moment. Like, this ain't the time to do that. So I'm kind of like, damn, you know what I mean? Like,
it's like you got kids.
I feel like it is. Even though, should you pay a little penalty?
You're not gonna do nothing that's gonna stop you from getting back to your kid.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like, especially that.
You know, I'm not gonna
something that you can get at home. It's like, soon as you touch down, like it never was my serious like that. I gotta bring this with me. I'm not risking. I'm like, no. This is the time. Like, and for me, the fact that they're rushing everybody out, I would have thought they checking everything. Like, I ain't messing with none of that. I know they're gonna be checking. They trying to get people out of here. They're gonna be making sure everybody legit. I ain't going it.
But she wasn't in that type of mind frame.
Here's the part you made a good point, Dinah, but here's another part on top of that, another layer on top of that. I'm an American, and I'm in Russia, and I already know what the relationship between. Checked. You already know you getting checked.
Anything suspicious.
Every single American probably had to go through that just to get out of there. So I'm like, nah, man, you don't risk that.
So it does make me think, like, did you think because you were who you were that you weren't going to get checked? Because where was your mindset that you could bring this with you at a time like that? Like, how do you forget? Like, she didn't even say she forgot. She just said, I was rushing packed. Like,
that's the whole point.
So, like, you was rushing packing this up? Like,
you rushed and packed it wrong. No, like, if I had more time, I could have got it at the bottom of the bag. But no, it's you don't bring that stuff. I'm sorry, you don't bring that. I don't care how great a time you're having. That you leave that, and especially in Russia. You're not in the Caribbean. You in Russia. Like,
I
come
probably
on, man.
smoke there, man. I just
Oh
can't
man.
smoke.
If I'm in
But
Russia,
if you get caught at any time, it's the same thing. Like, you really risk that?
yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah. I'll never understand that decision. And we'll probably never know. Maybe if she writes a book to get some money later on, if she's able to, maybe she can tell us, did she buy it here, bring it over there, and was trying to transport it back, or bought it over there? It was just, I'm gonna take it back with me.
Because they charged her with smuggling. So
now, see, once again, that's what lets me know that there was more. There was more volume.
So, yeah, I'm like, how did they charge her with smuggling less than a gram?
When you see the video and they're pulling the things open, you're like, there's canisters. There's not a canister. There's canisters. They're pulling open separate boxes. And I'm like,
yeah, I got to see this video.
That doesn't look, even when I first seen the video and then everybody started talking, I'm like, Marlon, I've been saying this. Did y'all see the video? That's all I keep saying. Did you see the video? The video to me is just, it tells what everything you need to know. You're just looking at her. It tells everything you need to know. And I'm sorry, I'm just sorry she got caught like that at that time, trying to get back here to her family. That's what makes this unbelievable. Like, you're trying to get back. Your family's worried about you. The State Department had called you. They didn't call your family. We didn't ask her to get to the airport. You get to the airport, and then you never leave the airport.
They waiting on you.
Yep, because they know what's going on. They're trying to get you home. When it's the State Department, they contact everybody on your list to let them know, we contacted this person, we got them to the airport, this is the plane they're on, this is what time they arrived. That's the way it works. So I'm like, if you know this already.
Yeah, that's too much.
Well, she got caught slipping.
Yeah,
that's a hell of a way to slip, though. That's a long fall. That's a long fall.
This slip go down.
And I'm sorry, does her and the wife, and I haven't asked, I haven't checked, does her and the wife have any kids?
Not that I'm aware. No, because I doubt it, because they would have put that out there.
I'm just asking.
I doubt it. They'd have put that out there.
Yeah, because that'd be some more time she'd be missing.
Yeah, I doubt that. They would have been saying something
about
like
that. Situation. She just had a birthday pass. She's only 32. So by the time she gets out, she'll be 41.
40.
That's
41.
That's still young. 40 is young.
She'll be psychologically tormented up in there. She ain't gonna be the same.
Diesel.
Yeah, I hope they don't break her.
I pray.
I hope her spirit stays strong. Yeah. I wonder about the support she's getting. That's all. Outside of the wife, because I don't know how are they able to contact her, to keep her.
That's what I was going to say. Like, how can you even write her? How can you talk to her? How is her family going to know she okay? Where is the communication? How you get in a video chat in Siberia?
Yeah, true.
Well, I'm sure there's a way that they're contacting her. I mean, there's a way. I'm pretty sure they're doing something back and forth. So
yeah, man,
it's probably easy.
No,
and it's not happened frequently.
You see that a couple of months ago, her wife was on TV because she was mad because she called. This is what I just said. When she calls Britney or communicates with Britney in that jail, she has to call through the State Department, and she got on TV because she was mad because the State Department people wasn't there that weekend to transfer the call over to where Britney was. And she was like, what is y'all doing? They said, it was a mistake on our part. And that's what I keep saying. When you got amateurs, this is what you're going to have. This is a big difference. When you got somebody who knows what they're doing, that's responsible and accountable and knows how this works, versus somebody that's just like, I heard she was in jail, but I heard there was a party this weekend too. There was somebody supposed to be at the switchboard is what I'm saying, and they weren't. And her wife made a big deal about it, but I'm like, honey, if they can't even connect the call, they're not paying attention to your case at all.
Right.
That's just the truth.
They ain't worried at all. They out there in the city.
Yeah, man. I mean, and I think that's the saddest part is there was all this expected support she was supposed to be getting because of who she was. And when that just fell through because of, basically political weakness, all her support fell apart. You know, you could have all the celebrities in the world, but they don't wield no political power. You know,
Not with Russia. Not with Russia.
Not at this time. Like I said, if my boy was in office, this wouldn't have happened, because your boy would have been like, you know, this is not happening on my watch. This is not happening on my watch. Simple as that. You know, I'll start a trade war. You know what I mean? Whatever I got to do to keep my name. What my name? You know how to go. My name is my name. We all seen The Wire. My name is my name. You ain't gonna do that on my watch. Your boys' watch. Everything's been happening on your boys' watch, because they don't. Other countries know we're at a weak spot right now.
Yep.
Seriously, they know it.
You can't even perform a speech.
You can't. Right, and like I said, unfortunately, this involves like a lot of layers. But I think mostly from their viewpoint, it's cultural, and you can't change that. You know, they're not gonna start liking it because they keep putting it on the news and they change them. That's not gonna happen over there. Mm-hmm. You know, and to be honest with you, if you really want to get a good take on what's going on, your boy just put out a speech, Putin. And I was at work and somebody told me to watch it. And I was like, man, I don't feel like watching him. But they had the subtitles. What he's saying is real deep as far as why he's going to Ukraine, his relationship, what's going on with the United States, how he sees the United States. He's going buck raw, but of course our media won't put it out there. But that speech is deep. What he's saying is we don't want your culture over here. And I keep saying this. We don't want your degenerate culture over. We got enough problems as is. We don't need what y'all got over here. And you keep trying to force it over here. You keep trying to force it through your business. You keep trying to force it through your politics. You keep trying to force it through this. That's not going to happen. And that's what this is about. She's getting punished because of the culture that they do not approve of. Period. That's why there was never going to be any negotiation when she got charged. There wasn't going to be any negotiation on the end thing about how much time.
They gave her the fullest sentence.
Yeah, that was never going to change. That was never.
They had to give her no 9.5 years. But I didn't see what she had. So I'm thinking again. I'm saying that on the premise of her having less than a gram. I don't know, like when I have to watch the video because see the video, you
see the cartridges I'm talking about. That 1 gram thing ain't gonna make no sense because you're looking at cartridges. That doesn't make any sense. And if you're a police officer looking at that obviously doesn't make any sense because you got more than 1 cartridge here. You're opening boxes. If you look at her body language, she's slumping, because it's getting worse. You know, if you're guilty, you're guilty. If I love you, I love you. But if you're guilty, you're guilty. And my love for you can't absolve you of the guilt.
Damn.
How many, that's just the way it is.
Video. I'm just going to have to watch the video.
Yeah, check the video, check back out more. Yeah, I think it'll kind of, because I seen the video before all this yipping and yapping started. And that's, once I seen the video, that's
you know a person's body language when they caught.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna try to prevent, like they're gonna try to negotiate and prevent you from like looking too much and like what you doing or like you know what I'm saying. Like,
when he keeps going through the bag, because he keeps going because he has to. That's what everybody's keeps. Are they doing it because she got that coat on? They're doing it because she's 6'9". They're doing it because she's black. They're doing it because the bark is darker. That the dog is barking. That's why they're doing it. And they got to do their job because it's on CCTV.
And you had enough to alert the dog.
Come on, this is what I'm saying. It was just that. That's not going to get that dog.
I don't think a gram. I mean, a gram is a little less than a gram. That's not
going to get that response. No.
The dog might not be barking with less than a gram, man.
No, they're not.
I know the dogs was barking. See, I know that part.
Yeah, they're off screen because they say it in the transcript. That's what makes them stop her. Is that I think they was barking. If I'm correct, when you read the transcript, they're barking. But she keeps walking. I think she knows they're barking, and she tries to get to the next belt, and that's when they stop her. Read the this is what I'm saying. Before all this is going on, I'm just like, well, if the dog, once I hear that the dogs are barking, if you've been in an airport, any airport, but especially an international airport, when those dogs start barking, there's nothing but silence. Because you know they getting ready to do something. Something's getting ready to happen. Where I just got back from. They did that down there. As soon as the dog started barking, hey, what's that over there? Yeah, because you know something's getting ready to go down. Everybody who goes to an airport knows that. We're not dumb. This isn't, man, I can't believe we gotta take some videos. No, you don't want to be a part of that shit because you want to get out the airport, get on your plane, and go home.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't got time to be an activist at that moment. You're trying to get home.
Truth.
And I feel bad. Like I said, it wasn't heroin.
So
It
sad.
wasn't meth. It wasn't fentanyl. You know what I mean? It was hash oil. You know, but they don't allow. And once again, and I think another angle is this: if I'm especially I'm the prosecutor and I'm over there and I'm pro Russia and I'm whatever I'm anti-America. We let your ass in our country. We don't even approve of you. We let you in our country to make money. Money we don't make. And
disrespect it.
You disrespect us like this? We was willing to turn the other way, but come on. That's another angle I look at.
That's
like
another perspective. That's
yeah,
a
you
great
gotta look at it like
perspective.
that. Like, hold on, cuz we know we know what you promote. We know how you get down. We ain't got nothing to say about none of that. We don't approve of it. But now you're over here breaking our laws. There's so many levels to this. I just hope the girl makes it. I hope that
Pray.
years from now, I hope to see
we
the
gonna
girl.
pray for Brittany, and we gonna pray for her family, and we gonna just
Yes.
ask the Lord that she see it through,
Yes.
and I mean without harm, without
Yeah.
losing her life. And if she do, I hope she leave with God in her heart and in her spirit, and just ask for forgiveness, and just to her family. And I hope she got to tell them that she love them, and like all of these things.
I hope they're communicating with her semi-regularly.
But yes,
she's on the other side of the world.
Yes, and I just pray for a change, for a turnaround. At least get her back on our soil. Even if she go to jail here, even though the U.S. they wouldn't do that for no weed, but at the same time,
right? Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Do something for the girl.
Do something for the girl. Something.
I think here's my if I'm a political candidate and just being cold-blooded, just being the political monster. If I want to gain votes from a certain group,
she's gonna be the target.
I start pushing that campaign.
She's gonna be the target.
Yeah, I start pushing that campaign.
Coming up before her 9 years. God, turn it around.
I do. Here's what I do think. I think maybe 3-4 years from now, I think she'll be out. I don't think she's
going to Russia. Relationship with Russia.
I don't think she's gonna, but I don't think she's gonna do the whole 9. I don't think she's gonna. I think a different administration.
I think they're gonna teach her a little lesson.
Depends on the relationship with Russia.
This is we gotta teach them.
But here's my, but playing the devil's advocate, how many times when when you're trying to teach a lesson and something unintentional happens?
Lots.
Right. Exactly. So I'm hoping, if you teach a lesson, okay. I'm just hoping they're not teaching a lesson and she ends up dead.
Right. That a lesson
that's not the plan. But it's unintentional.
And it might be the plan. And that could very well be the plan. Mm-hmm. We don't know how it's going to go. But if it's in God's will, we gonna hope.
I agree, Donna.
For a turnaround.
I agree.
And we're gonna try to hope that
yes, ma'am. I agree.
The U.S. soil again in her lifetime someday.
I want her back on stop. Yeah, I want her back on U.S. soil.
I do. I just want her on U.S. soil.
I just want her back on U.S. soil.
That's
her wife ain't gonna stop pushing. So you hear about her.
Yeah.
But anyways, ladies and gents, we've been here for quite a while, about an hour.
I don't think I ever did this.
Right.
Me either. This is the first.
Yeah, Donna, we virgins of this piece.
First time of deliver on a podcast, ladies and gents. I want you to give my special guest a round of applause. Give them a round of applause. They're wonderful. They were very, very informative. And I want to say thank you for coming into my podcast. We definitely needed you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, definitely. This was fun.
Do this again.
Definitely.
All right. Any topics, and never know what the next topic might be.
Yeah, all day.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But everyone have a good night. Appreciate it.
Good night,
Morpheus
y'all.
3000 with that dude and
One,
Miss
one.
Dinah. Over and out.
All right.
Peace. Ladies and gents, that was the longest podcast I ever made. We learned a lot, and I appreciate my guests. They were very informative. I'm pretty sure you all learned a lot from the Britney Griner situation. But other than that, ladies and gents, I appreciate you joining me tonight. Morpheus 3000, over and out.
No look pass for Griner and a dunk.
I mean, no one else, no other woman who plays basketball can do that.